That was fast, brutal, clinical and efficient.
And the best over rate we've had all tournament.
All tournament.
When I mean cricket in general.
The only regret, wish I had used those words in the two previous games against Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Once again, as many people would say, a case of too little too late, but Virat Kohli, the day belongs to Virat Kohli.
Absolutely.
71st century breaks a jinx that has been haunting him for 1000 days. And scores 122, and what a spectacular way. He also becomes the highest individual scorer for India in T20 Ice. Breaks Rohit Sharma's record of 118 that he made against Sri Lanka. On the other hand, Afghanistan 111 for 8 were blown away by a sensational spell from Bhuvneshwar.
That 111 also is a very inflated score given India India actually bowled Dinesh Karthik. Not kidding. I had to double check. I mean, Karthik. What?
Karthik bowls off break.
Yeah, news to us, all of us, by the way. And in fact, as Prasad Bhagat points out, he's saying we don't want this much experimentation also.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Aditya Kavlekar, the GOAT is back, and Sports News, my name is Hrishikesh. So please,
Hrishikesh,
use your name rather than Sports
and,
News.
Ikpreet, to answer your question, do you think Virat should now open? Yes. He's just best suited to this role. Quite clearly, you can see it.
But if Virat Kohli opens, where does KL Rahul go?
3, simple as. Either 3 or you sit him out.
But at the end, sitting out KL Rahul.
But sitting out the vice captain makes no sense. So I'm going to say
and on top of that, he got a 50 today. Now, if you're giving Virat's century that much of importance, you have to give KL Rahul's 50 that much of importance.
Wrong. Context matters. Kohli hadn't scored a century in 1000 days, and more importantly, has never scored a century in T20I cricket until now.
Yeah.
That matters. The fact is, he got his that 71st 100 in a format, or in the one format that he never got that century.
I mean,
with KL on
he did mention that he was shocked that he would not, because this was the last format that we thought that he could get.
Exactly. And the problem is with KL, as Prashant Sharma points out, an interesting thing, too naughty to take the comment, but I will say this, that with KL, the theme of his career has been performing either when it's a no pressure game or when India already out of the tournament. I'm not convinced by KL Rahul. I don't remain convinced by KL Rahul, mainly because when it matters the most, he doesn't tend to step up. And there are a lot of mitigating circumstances, long injury, COVID layoff, all of this and that. But even last year, it's not like he did much.
But which Indian batsman stepped up in a high pressure situation in the last 3 years?
Virat Kohli?
No. Kohli in 2021 World T20 struggled.
But the 1.5 century he got was against Pakistan.
But still, that strike rate issue, everybody panned the strike rate at that time. So, it is very, very unfortunate that, that if we are hyping Kohli's century so much, then we have to give KL Rahul his due as well. Because look, it would have not been easy. See, as you had said, mitigating circumstances. Every batsman does not take a set time to recover from that particular thing in defense of KL Rahul. However, that does not ignore the fact that what you have pointed out, absolutely correct. When was the last time KL Rahul scored in a high pressure situation?
And this extends even to his IPL form.
Yes.
Even to his IPL form.
Yes.
500 odd runs, you will struggle to mention one, high impact innings. And if before anyone tells me that he scored a ton against Mumbai Indians this year, Mumbai Indians finished 10th this year. That wasn't a big game.
But 2 centuries against the 5-time IPL champions.
But 5-time IPL champions who finished 10th this year.
Whatever. I mean look.
Piyush Nandre points out DK is your new death over specialist. I think he means with the ball as
got hit for a 6 and a 4.
More than a 6.
Two sixes. And today, actually, if you look at it, Afghanistan lost
less than Kohli.
Lost by 11 runs only to Virat Kohli alone. So thank you so much people for pointing that out. Virat took 1 less innings than Sachin to score 71st century.
Interesting.
Yes. Imagine, I had done a very detailed analysis in one of the publications that I had worked earlier. In that, I had mentioned very clearly, Virat 17-18
would have probably been close to that.
He would have hit 65 ODI centuries and gone past Sachin Tendulkar's tally of ODI runs. However, I argued he was not going to break Tendulkar's test run tally. He would end up with a total of 105 international centuries. That was the thing. And but now with this 1 century, it looks very difficult. Perhaps 2 more years, maybe 2023, he might.
Maybe. Let's
80, 90, let's see. He's anyway gotten 11 with Ricky Ponting now. He's level with Ponting.
And if we want to, we're talking about KL and whether Virat should open, I'll give you a slightly more balanced take on things. Okay, saying that he should open after 1 century against Afghanistan is a bit knee-jerk.
Yes.
In all fairness. But there's still 6 T20Is to go before the World Cup. What if, as we say that, KL struggles continue then, what that doesn't require you drafting in another player or, making some sort of a weird this thing. Kohli is well suited to open in T20s.
Look, at the end of the day, you had tried 2-3 openers.
All temporary.
Yes, you had tried Rishabh Pant, did not pay off. Surya, it did
pay off, but at what cost? It seems to have cost him his middle order form.
It cost him his middle order form, although when he opened, prior to that, he had gotten a century against England at Trent Bridge. So,
but that century he didn't get as an opener, if I'm not wrong. He didn't open, no?
Who?
Surya.
No.
Exactly, he came in at 3 or 4.
It was Pant who opened.
Correct.
So, if Kohli wants to bat in this particular template, then opening is the right position for him.
Exactly.
But let us hail Virat Kohli. Let us be totally appreciative of that. But look at the mitigating circumstances. Dead track, deflated bowling,
and a match with no stakes. Let's be fair.
Let us be fair on that. 3 mitigating circumstances against 3 absolutely marvelous points in favor of Virat Kohli. Okay.
Now, if he can continue this sort of form, batting in his usual position, number 3, again, there are T20I matches still to go before the World Cup.
6 T20Is.
Yeah. If he can continue there, and if we see KL struggle, then you say, okay, yeah, you know what? We might just need to make that last minute change. Just not working out.
Perhaps. If I have to now look at Rohit will be back. Virat's knock. I would say, okay, in place of KL, don't play him in the middle order, because what that happens is Virat is already playing the role of an anchor. You don't need a sheet anchor number 2 in that.
When you already have a sheet anchor number 1.
Yes. See, 61 balls, he has played half of the innings. Now, instead of KL, if his form doesn't come up until the next 6 T20Is, we don't know what is going to be the situation, because remember, prior to September 15th, your T20 World Cup squad will be announced.
Correct.
On top of that, if KL does not seem to be a very suitable option for you, I am dead straight going with Shreyas Iyer.
As an opener?
As a number 3.
Oh, as a number 3.
As a number 3. Rohit, Virat to open, Shreyas at 3, Surya at 4, Pandya at 5, DK/Pant at 6. We don't know about Jaddu's status. But
I don't think he
won't be there.
Probably not.
So maybe number 7 is Ashwin.
Ashwin at 7, I doubt. I think they'll probably.
You can't get Deepak Hooda, because see,
I
you're
think
not.
Just take Akshar.
Aksar, okay. Aksar at 7.
One left-hander.
Aksar at 7. Okay, then 8, you're going to go with Deepak Chahar. Deepak Chahar. Number 9, you will go with Bhuvi. Number 10, Bumrah. Number 11, Arshdeep.
I'll give you another solution. It involves not having, Akshar as the number 7.
Yeah.
Which is
Deepak Hooda.
No, actually, yes, Deepak Hooda. No, the main option, yes, Deepak Hooda is your 7. But to mitigate the number 4 thing, remove KL, put Rishabh Pant there. You could promote Surya up to 3.
Pant. Okay. Now, Pant.
His form is another matter altogether.
His form is not. See, this Asia Cup, Rohit Sharma has clearly said, we are looking for answers. We are looking for answers to questions that have not been answered yet. Rishabh Pant's question has not been answered.
Clearly not.
KL Rahul's question, out of 10 marks, if you have to give it 5. You don't know maybe in this match against Afghanistan, he looked in form.
But will that continue with South Africa and
with Australia? That remains to be seen. See, by all certainty, KL Rahul is making it to the T20 World Cup.
Yeah, he might not be a starter, but he's going to be part of the team.
Maybe he will start also, because now look.
No, might not.
Very,
very rare. I think a 90% chance he'll start.
Yes. So, let us just say that Virat Kohli, as an opener, you got it against Afghanistan. Fresher pitches, better bowling attacks. He might be got. And remember, if Virat goes cheaply, The risk is the rest of the batting order might struggle.
Exactly.
You don't want Virat Kohli going out cheaply. Because look, in this match, your batting did not get a test that it needed. I'm sorry. Only Virat and KL Rahul took their opportunity. Surya did not.
And in fact, no one else got an opportunity.
No one else got an opportunity. But look, why I'm saying this is a very, very refreshing century. Because look, Virat Kohli, the shots that he took, the assurance of the footwork, the way how he was going for the gaps, simply made me rewind back to 10 years when peak Virat Kohli was born. The peak, imagine Lasith Malinga, wide Yorker outsider. What does Kohli do? Sights it through deep extra cover. Same today, wide Yorker from Fazal Haq Farooqi, although 10 kilometers lesser than Lasith Malinga, he just drills it past extra cover.
Correct.
That showed the form is there.
And
The form is finally back.
Or it's finally coming back, at least in
At least to that peak. Now look, he's hit 276 runs at an average of 92.
Right.
Okay. He hit 250s against Hong Kong and Pakistan. Got a century. But, yeah. Yes, Anurag, that's what, 122, I have pointed out that it was the highest individual score by an Indian in T20 I's. It broke Rohit Sharma's record. So
118.
118 against Sri Lanka, which he hit. And that, by the way, was the joint fastest century that he had hit of 35 balls in Indore. So, Virat Kohli, that assurance he gives with this knock is massive. Now that one major, in a board exam, there is one major question which is of 20-30 marks.
Yeah.
That was the Virat Kohli question.
Right.
That's been answered.
That has been answered, but unfortunately, there are quite a few which still somehow haven't been answered.
Look, I had said it. Shane will also vouch for me. Like I had said it, if Virat Kohli fails even in the Asia Cup, he is making that trip to Australia. I had mentioned it from day one itself.
I think all of us agreed with that.
All of us agreed. Because look, very few, you would have to be really brave and you have to be really factual to say why Virat Kohli should not be in the T20 World Cup squad. Why? Of course, there will be doubters, there will be persistence every time like, oh, he hasn't scored. But today, I think there is no more questions over whether he will score or not.
And speaking of questions, just actually take a few.
We can take a few questions.
Yeah. Don't scroll yet. Akash Bharadwaj says, your thoughts, where will KL bat at 3-0 open? Can we push Rohit? Rohit, I don't see us pushing because again, he's actually looked in good touch.
Yes.
Yeah, big scores have eluded him for the most part, but he's the only opener you have right now who's batting according to the so-called template. Which brings us to the next question by Ram Dubey. He says that where is the so-called template and all? Our top three is so good in making these starts count. Let them play like that. Did you hear something about template or go hard in the Pak camp? Absolutely agree. In fact, I always say that,
what is a template?
No, I don't say that, but I do say that a template should always be about playing the situation rather than having a preset plan and then not deviating from it even when it's pretty clear that you need to. So,
I mean, play smart cricket. I'll quote Virat Kohli itself. Playing to a template in a big match situation in a big game tournament does not help. Because it can implode.
Exactly.
So play smart cricket according to the situation. At that time, there is no template. That template always in cricket, ever since 1877, has been play for a win, score one run more than the opponent. Simple.
And Syed Irfan says, India's World Cup 11 jigsaw will be resolved once Bumrah comes back. The bowling has been a concern. You know what? I agree with you to an extent. Bumrah being back in that bowling lineup will make things look a lot better, but there are still a couple of puzzles in that jigsaw you mentioned, which I don't think will be resolved.
Look, Syed Irfan and everybody, let us not get too carried away.
Right.
Remember, this is Afghanistan.
And a dead rubber
Again, agreed. Afghanistan are the upcoming cricketing nation. Of course, they are one of the best nations out there. Agreed. But low stakes, not much of pressure. The equation changes dramatically. Let us just keep our feet grounded and say that, okay, this is a great comeback from Virat Kohli. That's it.
Yeah, let's take the super chat.
Is it going to be a guarantee that he's going to do so well in the World Cup? Let us just. Shane, apologies, I'm referring to you with the correct name. Why is the Indian team placed for you when there is no pressure in ICC events?
Oh, that's a good question, Gautam. And now, you got my name spot on. Although you can spell it with a Y, S-H-A-Y-N-E. That's something I'll point out to you guys as well. Because spell it like that. Anyhow, the pronunciation now is correct. And no apologies needed. Just pulling your leg. We have some fun with my name on the show a lot anyway.
Shane Das.
So, yeah. So, why is the India team played freely when there's no pressure in ICC events. I mean, see, that's the thing we always say. Now, if you're comparing it with, I think they do play a little inhibited. They do let the pressure get to them. And the difference why they perform so well in bilaterals is because in bilaterals, you're facing one opponent a number of times. You're not actually facing different opponents who will present different challenges to you.
Yep.
And that is the major challenge when it comes to winning an ICC event or a multi-nation
Look,
event.
Rohit mentioned it. As Shane, I'll reiterate that point. You know the plans, what the one opponent is going to do on any given day.
Correct.
You know the plans a lot more. But but in a multilateral event, different nations, different plans. So to figure that out, it needs to be very, very spot on. Look at the World T20, for example. No host nation has ever won the T20 World Cup.
Correct.
Barring the West Indies, no one has won the World T20 more than 2 times.
More than once.
More than once. I mean, if you have to look at it, India, ever since the IPL began, they have never won the T20 World Cup.
Exactly, the one time.
Pakistan 2009, England 2010, 2012 it was West Indies, 2014 was Sri Lanka, 2016 was West Indies, 2021 was Australia. So there is no fixed template as to how to go about it.
Also remember, we talk about template a lot, but what was Australia's template last year? They simply looked to play according to the situation. In fact, they came in with literally no one expecting them to be winning it.
8 losses out of 10 in the build-up to the World T20. India had already played close to about very few T20s, but look, Australia had lost to Bangladesh, they had lost to West Indies 4-1. And they were in the group of death, which included South Africa,
they still made
England, West Indies, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh.
Correct.
But they still made it, defeated Pakistan and they defeated New Zealand in the final.
Check the other super chat.
Now, why Indian team plays freely? Look, what has been the common pattern in all the 3 matches, in all the 3 World Cup events? What happened? 2019, you did not. 2017, I'll start 2017. Your top 3 and there was no batting. 2019, you did not know who your number 4 and number 5 were. And also because you were banking on a template which took the game way too deep. 31 of 11, I'm sorry, the game was already done. And despite one person's superhuman abilities, it was still way too much. Correct. So unfortunately, 2021, wrong team combination. 2019, again, you did not know your number 4. And the selectors ensured that 3 players' career would be singed. Luckily, one escaped unhurt. The rest 2 singed for life. Never again picked for India. Abhishek Sharma is asking, Rohit,
disagree with that point.
Not to play him and give Virat the chance. That's how good team is built. That's how different Virat and Rohit. He never gave anyone to play at 3. No, Abhishek.
No, that's
totally
a very, very wrong point here. And you're trying to just, I don't know. I don't understand the point of making a comment like that because it just seems like you're nitpicking between 2 captains.
Yes.
And no, I mean, Kohli took a lot of rest.
Give Virat the chance. What chance?
Give Virat any chance. He wanted a rest. He took the rest and Virat was the only other.
Virat capitalized on it. That's it. That's not giving a chance.
Anyway.
And that's how good the team is built.
I mean, the team was built pretty good even previously.
There are errors. 2 losses that have happened. 2 losses.
Due to poor team combination.
Due to poor misjudgments. A team is built in a very good way, but how do you utilize that resources? We don't know. The same thing you can say, if India get knocked out of the T20 World Cup at an early stage, will you say how good this team is built?
No, absolutely not.
Take it on a case-by-case basis.
Good, that's how good this team is built. I mean, this team is out of the Asia Cup.
This team is out of the Asia Cup.
A tournament they were expected to walk. Absolutely walk.
You lost to a very determined Sri Lanka side.
And a determined Pakistan.
And an inspired Pakistan outfit. Because remember, now slowly but surely, the tide is turning towards Pakistan when it comes to ICC events.
Absolutely.
It's slowly but surely. And if India win the T20 match in Melbourne, great. But Pakistan, this team looks a little bit assured. When I look at this team is looking a bit assured when facing India. They don't have that past demons. Piyush Nandre is saying India versus New Zealand and Pak versus Australia will be semi-finals.
Man, I hope you're right.
Totally disagree. Why? For 2 reasons. One, New Zealand are doing absolutely horrendous in Australia, so I have no chances from them. India, yet again, I will replace India with, I'll replace New Zealand with South Africa. And maybe instead of Pakistan, I'll go with I'm tempted to go with England, but I'm not happy with the way England have chosen their team. Too many rusty bowlers. Mark Wood, Chris Wokes. They're recovering from injuries. Chris Jordan.
Jordan, to be fair, has been playing a lot.
Yeah, but then he also got injured and he's recovering from an injury. So that's why.
Sandeep says, hi, please have a cake tonight. Delighted to see Kohli scoring a century. Big fan of both of us. Thank you. We're actually happy
Thank
that
you, Sandeep. But there was jalebis offered, but we are on a diet. Yes.
Soumya Bharadwaj, good point. Confused. Should I be happy for Virat or sad for Asia Cup exit?
You can be happy for Virat and sad for the Asia Cup.
You
Can be both.
Because honestly, see, we did say very clearly that today was a dead rubber. Kohli's this century actually brightened up the match. Otherwise, it wasn't going to be anything great.
By the way, Aditya Kavlekar, good spot. After today's match, Kohli has 100 in all 3 formats and Bhuvi has a 5-wicket haul in all 3 formats.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
But Bhuvi already had a 5-wicket haul earlier than this, if I'm not mistaken, Aditya Kavlekar. Kohli joins Rohit and he joins Raina to get and KL Rahul in all 3 formats. A century.
So 4 Indians who are on that list.
There might be more. I don't recollect as of yet now. Raina, Rohit, Rahul. That's all I know. Kohli. Dhawan also. I don't think Dhawan has
Dhawan doesn't have a T20I
century.
I'm pretty sure of that.
Who can be India's second wicketkeeper? Pant is not selected. I think he may keep his place. Prasad Bhagat, Pant is there. But I don't believe he will be an automatic starter in that 11 for the World Cup.
Just scroll down slightly. You need to see Sports News' comment. He says, is Sanju Samson going to Australia for a World Cup? A journalist put out a tweet that hasn't. Have you heard anything?
Oh God.
Honestly, so far, I don't know. Honestly, I can't be honest. I can't tell you for sure. But I mean, it would be a very left of field shock if it happens. Nothing against Sanju, but he hasn't really been in the scheme of things for a while now, and then to suddenly bring him back just wreaks a panic.
I don't know. See, if you had to get Sanju, if you had to put him in the scheme of things, why don't you play him
regularly beforehand?
Why don't you play him in the Asia Cup? I'm sorry. I mean, if you select him suddenly after the squad announcement,
you played him in the Zimbabwe series. Pretty much the death knell for anyone except Deepak Hooda.
Yeah.
In terms of getting into that, and KL Rahul, because obviously vice captain, you weren't going to drop him.
Yep.
And you were playing him in that series because you wanted match fitness.
No surprises. Virat Kohli is the man of the match.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to hear what he has to say. Obviously, we can't right now, but we'll check it out later on.
Yes. So Virat Kohli is your man of the match after breaking a near 1,000
not much of a surprise at all. Not much of a surprise.
What is Kuldeep Shoran saying?
Just slow down slightly.
3 uncertain. Oh.
Yeah, I picked that comment.
Okay, you picked it up. Okay.
Okay.
My 11 for the World Cup: Manish Kashyap, Virat, Rohit, Hooda, Sky, Hardik, DK, Aksar, Bishnoi, Deepak Chahar, Akshdeep, Bhuvi. Oh, Manish Kashyap. That is a very, very. I don't know. I mean, as I said, picking the Indian team 11 is as complicated as playing a game of chess.
He's dropped KL Rahul.
He's dropped KL Rahul. Yeah, you like that. You'll obviously like it. Yeah. Do we have batsmen to clear long Australian boundary? Why Kohli did not bowl today? Why Rohit needed rest? Why did
Kohli literally never bowls. I think he bowled 1 over against.
After 6 years, he bowled 1 over against Hong Kong.
He hasn't bowled. That's not a point. Why did Rohit need rest? Ask Rohit. Man.
Ask Rohit. Yeah. Do you think because Virat is correct and KL can play more 360 means he can play in middle order, that might become blessing the eighth?
It's possible because you also have to remember this, and honestly, if you ask me, I think KL is better off as an opener. But his numbers as a middle order bat in T20 ain't that bad.
It ain't that bad, but that was the KL Rahul of 4 years back. Now he's a bona fide opener in both IPL and in T20Is.
And in ODIs too, since a lot of the time.
As a white ball guy, he's an opener.
Yeah, because
now suddenly you're going to fit him into the middle order. I think that is panic.
I mean,
That is panic.
As I said, there's still 60-20
because
we don't know what's going to happen.
Virat Kohli did try and open prior to that also.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. Now it worked out.
But this version of Virat Kohli is probably best suited to open.
Yep.
This version.
Maybe.
So anyway, let's take the other super
chat, please.
I think it's Gautam only.
Yeah. Can we go with this lineup in World Cup? Rohit, Virat, Sky, KL, Hardik at 5, DK at 6, Akshar, Bhuvi, Bishnoi, Arshdeep, Chahar, Shami, Malik, KL in mid-order. Okay, remove Umran Malik. He cannot fit into the scheme of things.
Neither is Shami going to be. So Chahar there.
Yeah.
Also picking Chahar at number 11. He's
but
probably
no
a much
Bumrah.
better batsman. No, maybe I think he's assuming Bumrah would be out. I think.
No, okay, but man, Bumrah out, okay. Bishnoi,
I think 3 spinners you're not. He's picked. He's picked Bishnoi ahead of Chahal.
Yes.
Oh.
Akshar, Bhuvi. That is it. Your 2 spinners are there.
Akshar, Bishnoi.
Akshar and Bishnoi. Bhuvi, Arshdeep,
Chahar.
Assuming
Bumrah isn't fit.
Yeah, and Bumrah. See, you're going to play only 2 spinners in Australia. At max.
Of course.
Max. You're not playing anybody more than that.
Yeah, and to be fair, he's played 2 here. So it's okay.
Yeah. So, but no Umran Malik, no Shami. I'm sorry, Umran Malik does
Umran
not.
Malik needs seasoning. Shami, for whatever reason, is not in the scheme.
He's not in the scheme of things. So, but
that's
again,
not a bad World Cup lineup, though, Gautam.
Yeah, that's not a bad World Cup lineup. Although, okay, fine.
No, we can exit it. It's okay.
Yeah, DK/Pant. That would be my only addition.
I think for me, I have always been saying it for a while now. In fact, before the Asia Cup, I was the only one who said I want to see DK there. Team management clearly agrees, and honestly, Pant has gotten chances but hasn't capitalized.
Yeah, but even DK, he just played 1 game.
No, but DK hasn't got chances. That's the
1
problem.
run and didn't get chances in the remaining 2 games.
He bowled more than he batted.
Yes.
Which is saying something. See, Gautam says.
Yeah, assuming Bumrah is injured. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree, KL doesn't, but he is still the best when he gets going. Yes, absolutely.
That's the thing, and that is why, that is the reason exists this inherent frustration at KL Rahul. You know how good he can be. He just doesn't show it when it matters most, and that is so frustrating.
Can we have a look at the Virat Kohli comments if they are up?
Just check and
just
see.
Check.
Go to commentary.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, not yet up. We will
give it 2 minutes.
Give it 2 minutes. Yes. So this is KL Rahul's first T20 victory, by the way.
As a captain?
Yes.
Wait, has he captained India in a T20?
I think this is the first time.
Yeah, because if I recall correctly, he captained India in the ODI series?
ODIs against South Africa.
Yeah. Didn't win there. He was supposed to captain India in the T20Is against South Africa at home.
Yes.
He got injured.
So, yeah. Ikpreet is like asking me, Bhuvi is bowling 4 overs on the trot. Do you think this is the right pattern? Arshdeep or Harshala Bumrah along with Chahal can bowl death overs? I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Because today, that's something I was going to point out. That Bhuvi bowled out 4 overs. So maybe you're looking to use him primarily at the top of the order. And to be fair, okay, again, mitigating circumstances saying this is against an Afghanistan side. But I don't think it's the worst option in the world, because 2 matches he kind of got thumped in the 20th over.
He got thumped, but yes,
19th, sorry.
I'm a fan of Bhuvi bowling on trot in the power play. Yes. Along with Deepak Chahar.
Correct.
Keep 1 over from Bumrah and 1 over from Arshdeep. Okay. In the middle, and then bowl them all out, flat out in the front.
Yeah, because you have you have one
Hardik.
spinner, you'd have a Hardik, you'd have one other spinner, a part-timer.
Yeah.
So you have plenty of middle order options.
Yes.
But with Bhuvi up front, with the ball, getting in the ball to swing, and Chahal,
in those fresh conditions in Australia, perhaps
would be a very, very good play, if you ask me.
Yep. Because remember, October and November, the weather will be totally different in Australia. This is the first time you'll be playing when the spring season is about to start and summer's about to come in.
Exactly. It's still not exactly peak summers, but
it's spring.
Conditions will be a little cooler.
Yes.
Peak summers for them is ironically
December, November, December to February period. Then what? Raj Das Gupta. What about Australian T20 World Cup? Their team is looking solid. Boy.
Australia looks solid. England, despite the fact that their bowling seems a little sus. Very power-packed.
Alex Hales is back, by the way.
Oh yes, power-packed batting lineup in that regard. Yep. Then there's of course South Africa, a very balanced lineup. If you ask me.
I think they are my dark horses to win this World Cup.
You can never forget, of course, there are teams like even West Indies who tend to do well in these tournaments, even if they might not have great bilateral form.
Yep.
So they could be could be an outside contender.
Yeah, Davis Cricket. Shane, don't ignore my comment. Please see the IPL play of IPL 20. KL was highest run getter. The finger in the ear is for people like, oh man, Davis Cricket. No Davis Cricket.
Okay, I agree with you. He has been the highest run scorer.
Strike rate.
Yeah, but wait, IPL playoff, IPL 2022. He was the highest run getter.
What? Eliminator. He played the eliminator. I think he scored a 50.
Can we pull up that this thing, please? Because even I don't remember.
I will say one thing. It's with KL Rahul. It has never been runs. Never been runs. It has been strike rate.
No, not stats there. You'll have to go to the matches. Not there. Matches. Upar ja. Next to videos. Yeah. Schedule results.
Yeah. What was the thing? Because see, with KL
eliminator,
Rahul, strike rate has been a major.
Match center mein click karo, you'll get it.
This one?
No, that one. That one. Yeah.
Yeah. So KL Rahul.
Scorecard.
Yeah, scorecard.
Right next to commentary.
KL Rahul made 79.
Of 58 balls.
58 balls at a strike rate of 136.
He also dropped a catch in that match, if I recall correctly.
I think so. He was dropped. So
No, he wasn't dropped. He dropped a catch. Remember Gambhir's reaction?
Gambhir, yeah.
Celebrating, then...
Yes.
So,
But
okay.
again, KL Rahul.
Wait, that's one match. Beyond that, how many matches has he put? Look, first off, Davis Cricket, I wasn't ignoring your comment. Fair point, he was in fact there, but the simple fact of the matter is that's one example. Tell me at least 5 more if you can. Aryan Sinha is asking an interesting question. It's not related to cricket, but we'll take it anyway. Tell me the timings for Neeraj Chopra's Diamond League final. If he wins, it will be a great day.
It's beginning at 11:50
p.m. IST will be when his event begins. And of course, stay tuned to Sports Today. We'll be bringing you coverage for that too.
That too, yes. So maybe Huda is a mystery spinner. No, actually he's not a mystery spinner.
He's not a mystery spinner. He
So
bowls
what
very
has
clear
Virat Kohli said? Firstly, I am grateful for how the day went today. Time away from the game gave me a good chance to sit back and observe a lot of things about me.
He
has really self-assessed himself a lot.
He's as I said, he's had a mentality refresh. He also, of course, thanks Anushka.
I mentioned one special person who stood by me through this study, and I mentioned her as she has been an absolute raw side of me throughout all these months. Yes, she was the one putting things in perspective and kept giving me the right kind of guidance, vision moving forward, and I came back into the system as a relaxed person. So behind every successful man is a very, very successful woman. Critics, analysts, please, let's just respect that. It was just about enjoying the game, understanding the game, and what God blessed you with. Today was the build of the last few games. I batted out of my skin, to be honest. Surprised. And what surprised was 60s became failures. Comment of the Asia Cup for me.
This I think that part there. What surprised me was my 60s became failures. Quite shocking for me. Batting pretty well and contributing, but
doesn't seem to be enough.
I call it the Ronaldo Messi, or the Messi Ronaldo conundrum.
Yes.
Which is that their numbers will drop off and people will be like, oh, they had an average season. He scored 20 goals and gave 15 assists. And I'm like, most star forwards would kill to have numbers like that.
I know.
So look, he did excellence so often that it became ordinary.
Look, Virat Kohli, I have mentioned, you can check out all the videos. When he was going through a lean patch, that lean patch reflected more in test matches. But in white ball cricket, in ODIs, in T20Is, ODIs he was 47. In T20Is in 2021, it was 74. But because Virat's excellence, because of the numbers and the benchmark that he has set is so high, he has to come out with a statement like that saying
the thing which I have to remember is why there's a bigger spotlight shown, why? Because he had a very poor IPL 2022.
Yes.
Wasn't the best of
years.
He had back-to-back ducks, looked very uncomfortable against all types of bowling.
Yep.
And I think, as I say, that mental reset really has helped me.
Yep. I can't really pinpoint to anything to anyone. As I said, God has blessed me. He's pointing it out that this is another side of Virat Kohli that we are seeing. Very, very human, very, very mortal, acknowledging God. That's all the characteristics of a very mellowed Virat Kohli.
Yeah, he's clearly no longer the guy he was of the past.
He's not.
But he's,
because now every opponent, every nation, almost every bowler has figured out his kryptonite. Once a kryptonite is found, after that you do have to mellow down. And as I said, and Nikhil and I both pointed out that perhaps becoming a father changes world perspectives in a very, very different way. And yes, once you have the responsibility of a child, perspectives change. Look at Hardik Pandya.
Mellowed
The birth of Agastya has really, really matured him.
Another one who actually did mature a lot during this time, and probably the biggest example of what you call the mad dog mentality, David Warner. Calm down a lot with 3 treasure troves that he's got. Those 3 daughters of his are actually his inspiration. And looking at it, Warner, why does he want to have life after cricket? Because he wants to spend more time with his daughters in their growing years. That's the thing with him, is that he went from someone who could probably start fights in an empty room to becoming probably one of the more beloved cricketers on social media for what of all things? TikTok videos.
TikTok videos. I mean, forget Rohit. Even
No, not Rohit, Warner, sorry.
no, I'm saying forget Warner. Rohit Sharma. After the birth of Samaira, see how cool, calm, melody is out of the field. On the field, he's very,
Very intense, and
very
that's
intense. That's what you expect from a captain. Everybody can't be Kane Williamson, who's as cool as a cucumber in failures and success. Then that's what. See, this is the Virat Kohli who's now realized that he is, after all, a mortal.
And see what he says, no, that I went back to the drawing board, came back fresh and excited. I remember in one of the many discussions that we had about Kohli, even in between the
Yes.
IPL, I had mentioned very clearly that he looks mentally short.
Yep.
It's not a technical thing. I'm sorry, you don't become 25, you don't become, how old is he? 32, 33, 34. You don't become 34 and suddenly lose your ability.
He will turn 34 on November 5.
You don't just lose that ability.
Yep.
His problem wasn't technical as much as it was mental, and I did say, sort that side out and his form will come back.
It was a triple whammy for him. Mental, technical, and expectations.
And it was also all three of them
All three,
leading.
yes.
So Sobham Sai makes an interesting point.
Yeah,
but
does this 105 wicket haul change the fact that India is very poor in the Asia? Just one match change the thoughts of the tournament? No.
But you can
Rewind
acknowledge
to
the
this,
fact
yeah.
that India had a poor Asia Cup, whilst also saying that this match did bring about at least a couple of positive things. We don't need to be that negative.
Shobhan Sai, rewind the video and look at what I had said. Let us be grounded. Let us not go overboard with Virat Kohli is back, the run machine's back.
In fact, can I be honest? I'll go one step further. I'll say that no matter what happens in the bilaterals, even if India thrash Australia and South Africa, don't get overexcited. India are very good in bilaterals.
Yes.
Wait and watch how the World Cup goes. That is going to be the key.
Look, you have to sort out what is your batting order. Once that happens, you have to hope that your technique and consistency creep in. Once that happens, you have to master the condition. There's a 3-step.
And this is the thing, that these are conditions that are going to be unknown to everyone.
Yes, because remember, the Australian winter or summer this time is not being played in all the major venues. It's been played in Cairns. It's been played in Townsville. Most of the northern cities which have not had that much of cricket, it's why they want to ensure that
The ground
ground is fresh. Fresh grounds, fresh outfields, fresh conditions. So, and India's preparations begin in earnest from October 17. You have to check out the video wherein we say that October 17th and October 19th, these are the two warm-up games for India against Australia and New Zealand at the Gabba. So this doesn't change the fact, Shobhan, doesn't change it at all, that India have had a horrendous Asia Cup. Very bad. As I had said, intensity and clinical efficiency. I wish I had said that in the Pakistan and Sri Lanka games. We're just coming against Afghanistan. That too. When it was, say, one match, two matches too late, and Afghanistan were playing back to back. Sports news: if he failed to win this T20, will BCCI show Rahul Dravid the exit door? What do you think?
No, I don't think.
See, he's there till the 2023 World Cup.
Yeah, so unless something really terrible happens in the World Cup,
Rahul Dravid has to do with Thomas Tuchel.
No, even Thomas Tuchel did okay.
But I think he had a deteriorating relationship with.
Yeah, so but that doesn't really anyway. I don't think that matters.
Yeah.
No, I think unless, as I said, Dravid loses, I think all matches or something like that.
Yep.
Only then will Only then will he actually be shown the door.
Yep.
Only then.
Yep. That is how it is. Can we just look at some more comments? Okay, Twitter crash ho gaya. Okay, Amritanshu, very good. I am more concerned with bowling. Without Bumrah, Shami, can we win the tournament? Chair and Bhuvi have death overs. Arshdeep is inexperienced. We don't have 145. Can Bumrah be back?
145 plus bowlers overrated. Take it from me.
See, Varun, Bumrah will be back. Okay, let us remember that. So Bumrah fits in, and then you have Chahar, Bhuvi. Okay, your power play bowlers. Arshdeep, inexperienced, but he has the maturity of a 30-year veteran. That guy has got ice in his veins here. Nothing fuzzes him. Absolutely nothing. Arshdeep defended 7 runs in the last over twice, and he took it almost the last ball.
In both occasions. So calling him inexperienced, but he can actually do it well in this T20 World Cup. Arshdeep, Bhuvi, Bumrah,
and Deepak Chahar are my 4 pacers with a bonus of Hardik Pandya. Then you have UC Chahal and maybe Akshar Patel / R. Ashwin. Deepak Hooda and Avesh Khan are not making that trip to Australia primarily because what role will Hooda have? And Avesh Khan is more miss.
Hooda might actually be part of the squad.
He will be in the reserve. He will be in the squad of 15, but he's not making 11. It to the 11.
Also, Aditya Khavlekar points out something. He says that one fast bowler we've forgotten. Left arm bowler nails the Yorker, Tina Trajan. If he was fit, should have been in the mix. Has done well in the IPL and limited international chances. He's got agreed. But the key, you hit the nail right on the head.
Injuries.
When you say if he was fit. He ended up picking up. He's going to Washington Sundar route. Unfortunately, he's had some issues with his fitness, and that is why he's fallen out of favor. Otherwise, as you say, to say that he's done well would be an understatement. You remember he played. Why did he make his Test debut? Because India were pretty much all out of bowlers. He was a net bowler.
And he did well in the T20Is and the ODIs that he played in Australia.
Exactly. But fitness has been an issue for him, and that's why I think a lot of us used to say that, who do you see as a left arm option? We all say Arshdeep.
Yep.
Because you knew Natarajan was out of the reckoning due to fitness issues. The other left arm options, who do you have? Mohsin Khan, Yash Dayal, too young. Not happening. Khalil Ahmed would have been a choice, but dude does play domestic cricket only, so what do you do? So I think Arshdeep was the best option.
Yes. So that's your answer. I want India at least favorite for World Cup also. How much toss is important in Australia?
Not as much.
It's mixed. Teams, especially Sydney. In Sydney, teams can chase. In Melbourne, teams can defend. Canberra, teams can defend, but you're not playing in Canberra. Perth, you have not played that much in the new stadium in Burswood.
And it's a drop-in.
No, this...
Perth isn't a drop-in?
Yeah, this is a drop-in.
It is, that's what.
Adelaide is a drop-in. So in Adelaide, it's pretty mixed. Toss does not matter.
And again, remember, the thing with drop-in wickets, what is the major thing we always say is that they remain pata. There is no real change in it, but they remain firm, true, nothing, no help.
By the way, in 2016, India won while batting first in Adelaide.
Exactly.
And even in Melbourne, India won while batting, I guess. But in Sydney, you won while chasing.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but the T20 World Cup will have some day games as well.
All are day-nighters.
Oh, day-nighters in the sense they'll be starting.
Yes.
Right. But I think conditions will be fairly different as to
Very different. Because see, where all are India playing? India playing in Perth, India playing in Melbourne, India playing in Sydney, India playing in Adelaide.
Correct.
And I think one match is potentially Hobart, I guess. I'll have to check. So, conditions in Australia will be totally different.
Correct.
And we hope there we'll have an equal thing. Toss is not a factor. Bowl well, bat well, and win the match. That's it. That's how you have to do it.
Davis Cricket says, Shane, great sport and awesome. Thanks, man. Love taking your questions. Do you think we need a backup for Hardik and Akshar to try to fill in for Jaddu? I agree with your first point. There's just been one small problem with that. There is no backup.
There is no backup for Hardik.
It's very hard to get a player who's even half like him. And that is something that India have struggled with despite trying out a lot of people there. You tried Venkatesh Iyer, his IPL form went for a toss. You can say maybe Shardul would be one person they could consider, but again, he doesn't really fill the option of a bowling option.
No, he doesn't.
His bowling in white ball cricket, T20Is in particular,
death overs are major
he tends to get blasted.
Yes.
And his batting also can be hit and miss. So again, there's not that many fast
Varun Parvataneni, if India does not do well in World Cup, we deserve to grab the choker stack from Soda. That team carried it for far too long.
No, I mean, look, they carried it for 20-30 years.
Still carrying.
Yeah, still carrying. Unless they win. But the thing is that, India, actually, their underachievements in ICC tournaments do.
But, Varun, this has happened in the last 9 years. See, you've lost in the one major game in the finals, unfortunately. In 2021, it was a total disaster. Yeah, agreed. They didn't play the right team. 2019, you lost one bad session because your top order was blown away by some disciplined New Zealand bowling in the semi-final. But South Africa, look, 1999 semi-final. How do you lose when your team needs one run of 4 balls? Classic case in point. 2003. How do you lose when you have misread the Duckworth-Lewis system? Classic case. 1992. Forget Duckworth-Lewis. Your predecessor, Rain Rule. There also you are given a hard rope. Okay. How do you lose when you lose just one game in the entire tournament? Classic South Africa, 2007 World T20, 2021 World T20. Here, I just hope that we get a good game and that South Africa finally shed that tag of chokers. Yes, Awes, I'll take this.
No, please don't. That's a troll. He's looking for it.
Yeah, India's gonna okay.
Don't take it.
Fine. Awes, point taken.
Aditya Kavlekar makes an interesting point, though. He says that Harshal Patel was more effective in the UAE and India due to his variations. He has looked ineffective in Ireland and England. Don't think Australia condition will suit him if he recovers. You know what? I'm hard pressed to actually disagree with him, because my major criticism of Harshal used to be what? At times he seems overly reliant on his variation.
Yeah.
And if that variation doesn't work, he tends to get tonked. So, and as it is, by the way, Aditya, it seems pretty unlikely he'll be fit by then.
I hope he regains that fitness, but if not, then 2023 World Cup.
Piyush Nandra says that players who got more than 10 crores in the IPL auction, not even in the scheme of things. Look, a point well taken, but you have to also remember that franchise cricket is very different from international cricket. And in franchise cricket, as is even the case in another sport I follow and love, football, fees of that sort will be paid depending not on how much your worth is necessarily, but on what the franchise perceives your worth to be. So I'll give you a good example of that. Shreyas Iyer. He got what, 13 odd crores in the auction?
I'll have to check.
Yeah, it was around that much, I think. He was above the 10 crore mark. I remember because he was the first big player who came very early in this thing, and KKR had signed him. Why is it that KKR went so hard for him? Two reasons. They didn't have a captain, and their middle order had been an issue. Shreyas was a consistent performer in the middle order for the Delhi Capitals, and also a ready-made captain. So that's why they went big for him. Similar with Ishan Kishan. Why is it that Mumbai paid 15 odd crores for him?
15.25.
Why was it that they paid that much money? It's because they lost out. They had for one assured Ishan that come what may, we're going to get you back. On top of that, they lost out on Quinton de Kock, who went to Lucknow Super Giants.
For 6 crores.
What happened then was they didn't actually sign any other wicketkeeper. So, and this is where teams were also very clever, okay? So in auctions, a lot of teams, what they do is they just false bid. False bid in the sense they'll drive up the price, make another team bid higher, and then actually make them overspend their purse, which is what Mumbai did. 15 crores was a lot for Ishan. But the simple fact of the matter is they didn't have a wicketkeeper bat. So they had to go that much for him. Same with someone like, I think Shardul, also went for big money. Not sure.
6 crores, I guess.
But
Warner for 6 crores.
But I think Shardul went for more. I think he went for more. So
even
there, Delhi needed a pace bowler who could bat a bit. Henshaw,
Chris Morris, 16.25 crores.
Exactly.
Kyle Jamieson, 15.5 crores.
Chris Morris is a good option, a good this thing in that regard, because he did very little in international cricket by that point when he got picked. Because he was barely playing international cricket. But you saw the value it is that he brought.
16.25 crores.
So it doesn't really matter.
Can we go down, Anurag?
We'll take a couple more questions and then we can call it a night.
When pressure is off, KL Rahul plays well even IPL international games. I think he's agreeing with you.
Neela, I will so well agree with you there.
Everyone was talking about top 3, but in every match, 1 or 2 from top 3 scored in every match. Middle order is bigger. Abhi Adhikari, absolutely agree with that. The lower middle order,
Hardik, Surya was and Pant played.
Apart from the Hong Kong game wherein Surya was absolutely great and Hardik good in the Pakistan League game, it's been a problem. It's been King does not need number rank of Virat in 276 Asia top boss.
He's been okay. Let's be fair. He's had a good Asia Cup. We can't be mad with that.
Numbers don't go down. Numbers don't agree. Let's go down a bit.
We'll take a few more questions and then call it a night.
Why can't we open with Virat and it can happen now?
Can indeed happen.
But where would you slot in KL?
Then KL becomes the real issue.
I would like to see Aditya Kav. I would like to see Bhuvi and Chahar playing together and playing 11 in World Cup as a very similar regards to speed, swing.
I agree.
Overs that they bowled.
And the advantage also is that Chahar can actually in recent times, I think even the latter parts of his CSK career when he started playing and even for India, started actually bowling decently in the latter stages of the match. Not necessarily a death bowler, but you didn't need to bowl him out 4 overs on the trot in the power play.
But again, Aditya, swing will not be that much of a problem in Australia because there is hardly any swing. You either get movement of the deck, hardly any in the air. Maybe Gaba might be an exception, but you're not playing at the Gaba. You're only playing warm-up games at the Gaba.
Exactly.
So I would say swing is not a major factor.
Anyway, let's go down. I will take one more question then we'll call it a night. Piyush Nanda says, if Mohsin and Imran don't have experience, then why you played Venki and Varun last?
As I said,
point well taken. But that was something that even we said was a mistake. Shouldn't have happened. And that's no disrespect to either Venki and Varun. I love both of them as a KKR fan, but they didn't need to be near that India 11 at that point.
At that time,
Venki had 6 good games in the IPL, and Varun was a mystery spinner, best suited to the IPL. So again, no. And anyway, I think we've been going on for a long time now. We can call it a night.
King Kohli fans can just
rejoice. Even Team India fans can rejoice.
Rohit Roy, I'd just like to take this point. New Zealand is just opposite of it. They do poorly in Bala, pretty good in ICC. They have reached last 3 ICC finals.
Point well taken.
Oh yes.
Well taken.
But again, conditions in Australia somehow don't suit the Kiwis. I mean, look, in 2015,
what happened today?
Yeah, the one game that they played in Australia, 2015 World Cup final,
they lost.
It had won most of it in New Zealand. That's the problem. The final was held in Auckland.
I mean, if you're being fair, then 2019 they made it to the final.
They made it to the final, but again, it was not a very smooth run for them. They lost to England, they lost to Australia pretty badly, and they only benefited because India, and they lost to Pakistan also very badly. They benefited because India themselves shot themselves in the foot.
Correct. Yeah.
And in the final,
and India's one major issue that was actually really came to the fore only in the semi. Because remember, before that you had, I think Shikhar had scored a century against
Australia.
Oh, Australia, sorry.
Yeah.
Then he got injured. Rohit had scored a ton. Kohli had done well.
Yeah.
So the top 3 had been firing, but the one match where they don't, where's the number 4?
Yep, that's the thing. So Kohli fans, finally number 71 has come. 1,000 days of pain has ended.
Come to an end at last.
And finally, enough talk on when will Virat get that 100.
He's got the 100.
He's got the 100.
More coming.
September 8th, 2022. Finally, that day has come.
Right.
It came on September 8th. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us. India's journey in the Asia Cup is over.
But don't forget, there's a lot of sporting action to look forward to.
Yep.
Not just tomorrow, but through the weekend, of course. There's going to be football, there's going to be F1, there's going to be the Asia Cup final. I mean, it might not be between teams we like, but
Pakistan, Sri Lanka
should be a very, very
Pakistan would be looking to end 10 years of pain. They have not won the Asia Cup ever since 2012.
Exactly. At Sri Lanka also, I think, when was the last time they won it?
They won it, I guess, in 2014.
Oh, so 8 years. I mean, so both teams really will be looking to end a little bit of
more so drought. Pakistan, because they are the perennial underachievers of the Asia Cup. Only 2020.
Exactly. Sri Lanka actually won what, 5? Yeah. So, plenty of stuff coming your way. We'll take your leave for now. But of course, again, day is not done for us. Diamond League yet to come.
Diamond League, 11:50.
Keeping an eye on Neeraj Chopra, hoping that he can actually get that one medal which he hasn't yet. The one medal, the Diamond League medal.
The Diamond League.
So, thank you all so much for joining us again. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, comment. Tap the bell, follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter as well, and of course, last but not least, download the AajTak app from Sidvi and me. Good night, bye-bye and Vanakkam.